Hello, welcome to another dynamic do-it-yourself video, and today we are going to get into the science of making a simple bath bomb. We're going to use some ingredients that you might already have in your house, and I'm going to show you how you can dial it down or how you can make it a bigger project depending on what you are looking for. We're going to use baking soda, citric acid. We will also use some cornstarch. So these are ingredients that you might already have in your pantry at home, because these are some common things that people use to cook with. We will also use, you see that there's some epsom salt there. Epsom salt, get this at any drugstore. I'm going to use some almond oil. We will also need some witch hazel. And here is something that is not common, but you can purchase this easily online, which is called Polysorbate 80. And here we have an essential oil blend that I've picked up on my travels, okay? So I will be using these items, and we shall not forget to use gloves. So let's get started. So first, safety first, I'm going to put some gloves on. Now we're going to add 1 cup of baking soda. Baking soda has a lot of good benefits. It's a deodorizer, it's a cleaning agent, and it's also a water softener. Whoops, this is a little messy, but hey, we're doing it ourselves and it doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, so anyway, we put in a cup. There we go. There we go. We put a cup of baking soda. Then I'm using my hands to basically break up any little clumps. Now when we're making this bath bomb, we are keeping the dry ingredients separated from the wet ingredients for a very good reason. Now we are using a half cup of citric acid. Okay, that's half cup. Okay, mix it. As you can see, there are some clumps. So then again, with my hands, clump it up, break up the clumps. Usually if you have clumps, little stones in your dry ingredients, that usually is an indication that moisture has gotten in, and there's moisture in the air, so nothing to be too concerned with. Next, we are going to use Epsom salt. We're going to use a half cup of Epsom salt. You might notice that I'm using the same 1 cup measuring cup, and that's because I am eyeballing the ingredients in. Now, once again, using my hands to take out any little stones. Okay, there we go. And the last ingredient is the cornstarch. Half cup. And I've been using this cornstarch, so you can see that's all I have in this. So this is going to be a good use. Take my hands, mix it up. Now, if you want to put a little color in there, you could go online and you can find these mica. Just put a little mica powder. And since this is going to be like a Valentine's Day themed, I'm just putting just enough color so it can make this a nice little pink. I'm using rose color. So just enough to make it pink. Now you can use to your discretion how pink you want it. I want it a little bit darker. Now because I'm using mica powder, there we go. Since I'm using mica powder, this is where my Polysorbate 80 comes into play, because when we make this balm, when we put it in our tub, we want the colors to color the water and not the tub itself. And so the Polysorbate, this guy, is going to help distribute the color. Now I could use a whisk for this, but I like using my hands because my hands, well, there we go. Because my hands really help me to, as I'm doing this, break up any stones. A whisk is not really good at breaking up stones or little rocks. I'm calling them stones, but you get the idea. Okay, now that's a beautiful pink. I love this color. Okay, so I'm done with my dry ingredients. So now it's time to get my wet ingredients. So I'm going to use this same little cup here for my wet ingredients. I'm going to take off my gloves so I won't be clumsy with this. Now my essential oil that I'm using, this is a blend. You can use any scent you want, but I really like this scent because it's a jasmine, a neroli, a rose, white lotus, and vetiver oils. Okay, so I'm going to put 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. A little goes a long way because you're only using this essential oil for the scent. Then I'm using this moisturizing oil. I'm using almond oil here. And I will be having 2.5 teaspoons. So there we go. There's 1 teaspoon, 2, and a half. Tap off a little bit of this, and I could use the spoon to stir the oil up. Okay. Now I am going to get a whisk. Now I will use a whisk. So the gloves are coming back on. And now we're going to put our wet ingredients with our dry ingredients. Now this is very important. This is going to be the part where the rubber meets the road. Because I'm using the citric acid, that is going to give you the foaming element of this, okay? So we like our bath bombs because they foam up. Looks really pretty with the colors. So I'm using my hands right now to massage this blend. But I want to get this into the consistency of wet sand. So in order to do that, I have to be very careful with my witch hazel. I use my witch hazel in a little spray bottle. So this will help me put just enough that I need. And I don't want to do it too fast, because what happens if you do it too fast, this foams up and it becomes a mess. Now the Polysorbate, this is important because it helps distribute the color evenly. So I will put just a couple of drops in here. 1, 2. A little goes a long way. Trust me on this. Now I will use my witch hazel, and as I am mixing this, I'll give it a couple little spritz, just a little bit, because we are using this in order to form our sand, our wet sand. Keep that in mind. You want this to be like wet sand. If it becomes too wet, it becomes useless and it's not a balm. You can't make it into a balm. But if you get it just right, you can start forming your ball. So I use my hands to see if I got that consistency. I don't have that consistency yet, so I will spray a little bit more. And I will keep stirring till I get what I need. As you can see, it's starting to clump up on its own now. Now we want the little stones, we want the little clumps. A little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to use my hands to start really working it in. And as you can see, it's starting to form. If you can put your hands into it and you can make a cluster like this, you're on your way. Now, the color, the Polysorbate 80, that's a little extra. If you're doing this at home and you do not have any of these special little fancy things, don't worry about it. You could take that out and you could still make a nice balm. I put a little bit of more witch hazel in there. Now that's perfect. Look at that. If I could squeeze it and let go, that's it. Now I purchased these online. These are little bath bomb molds. You can use anything for a mold. Anything. You can use Easter egg, little Easter eggs, empty, you know, the empty ones that you put candy in during Easter time. Now I filled 1/2 solid and I pack it in. I also purchased this online. You can use flowers in your garden, but you have to be careful with that because you might grab a bug or two. So if you are not that adventurous, you can purchase dried flowers. And I'm just going to use a couple, just a couple. This is going to be for decoration. And I will put that first in the second half. Okay, you see that? I don't know if you could see that or not. There you go. All right, and then I will put, I think this might be a little bit too dark. I put some more of the bath bomb mixture on top of it. Then I put these two together and you press them together. If you have gone to the beach as a child, you probably remember making sand castles and the like. So you tap into those old skills. Tap into those old skills. Okay, so here we go. I press it together, knock off the extra. Okay, put this aside. And I let this sit for a little bit. Let it sit for a while. Let it sit for a while. And once we let it set, we'll see what comes out. So we've let this sit for a little bit. I will tap each side so we can easily ease this out. Okay, nice form. And now let's see what happens when we take off the top. Look at that. It's a beautiful balm. And there's the little flowers. Now the flowers, as the kids say, that might be a little extra, but if you're doing this to give to someone as a gift, that little touch will make a big difference. And from a plain bath bomb to a nice, attractive bath bomb. Now I will let this sit. Let it sit for a few hours, sometimes 24 hours, and it will be so firm that it's not going to fall apart. Right now you can see that the ends are still moldable. And air dry will allow this to be so firm that you wouldn't have to worry about this falling apart in your hand. So hopefully this is a fun little activity that you can do using some simple items you have at home, and you can save money and you can make more. If you take a look at what I have left, I have so much left. I could make another bath bomb. I think I can make about 2 more this size. Can't beat that. So if you found this enjoyable, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Until next time.